running late. Traffic is so bad, you'll never make your meeting.
Any idea what's going on up here?
Tractor jack Napa about 5 miles up.
You find a possible shortcut. But you have to ask yourself, did you go the right way?
This Bear Mountain Road looks like it runs in the highway about 15, 20 miles, is that right?
You say so.
Or did you take a wrong turn?
Thank you very much. You take care, okay?
You're the one calling me take care.
Desmond Harrington, Elijah Dushku, Emmanuel Shrieky, and Jeremy Sisto find themselves haunted by that very question in Wrong Turn. Directed by Rob Schmidt and produced by effects master Stan Winston.
A young man, Chris, is on his way to a very important meeting. He ends up going down a backwoods road of the Appalachians and takes his eyes off the road.
Chris literally runs into Jessie and her 4 friends. They kind of are forced to find a way out of the situation.
How'd you blow your tires?
Someone left some barbed wire in the middle of the road. I can't believe someone just dropped it there.
Nobody dropped anything. I just found this tied to a tree back there. Somebody did this.
We basically become a team, and we end up going to look for help.
We need to get out of here, and our cell phones aren't working, our car is dead, so we stumble along this cabin.
Hello?
It is so bizarre and weird and scary. We all kind of discover really crazy things. We decide we've got to get out of here. Oh, God.
Sorry.
We have to go now.
We got to get out of here.
This is really where the horrors begin.
It's not gonna budge. Come on.
My challenge was to come up with creatures that were memorable, phenomenally horrible characters, but totally real. And the more real you make something, the more unsettling it is. When you see them, you go, oh my God.
Stan's very inspiring to work with. He loves making movies and making people get scared. It's a thrill to get to work with him.
You go to his studio, and it's just amazing. There's models of every single special effects creature you've seen in movies and been terrified by.
Having him aboard in this picture is just a guarantee that the special effects are going to be done with precision and reality.
They're here.
It's an action movie, and we're on harnesses, and we're falling, and we're jumping. We all have our share of bumps and bruises. It's pretty intense business.
I like all the action stuff. I'm jumping off stuff and falling off stuff, and it's just fun to come on set and do all that sort of stuff.
Go!
It's made to give the audience jolts of adrenaline and then let them feel fear, feel suspense.
When you're watching, you want to hold your ears and block your eyes.
There's going to be a few things in this film that will haunt people.
After Jaws was made, you said, you don't want to go back into the ocean? Wrong Turn makes you not want to go camping again.
We're never going into the woods again.
I wanted to make a movie that was just totally straightforward horror film. You meet people, you get to know them, and then they start to die.
I read a script. It was one of the scariest scripts I've ever read, with 3 of the scariest characters that I had ever read. And I said, this is a movie we have to make.
You want to hold your ears and block your eyes. It's one of the most physical feelings you can have.
I want to scare the shit out of you. And this is the movie to do it with.
Hey, Mark. Action.
Wrong Turn is a classic 70s style horror film. It's very simple. It's made to give the audience jolts of adrenaline and then let them feel scared, feel fear, feel suspense.
She's got
There's a film theorist named Tom Gunning, and he told me that when he watched The Exorcist in New York on 42nd Street, which was, what, 74 or something like that? I'm not sure. But you could still smoke cigarettes in the movie theaters, and he noticed that during The Exorcist, there would be moments when the entire audience would light cigarettes at the same time, and he thought, where have I seen this before? The thing that he realized was the place he'd seen it was in porno theaters.
Drop your pants.
Because there'd be like a sex scene and the audience would be all excited, and then after the sex scene they'd all light cigarettes. I think that on a really base level, horror films do this great thing. They're like a really pure cinematic experience where you get to go into a dark, safe place and watch this fantasy, and you get to get absolutely amped up with adrenaline, and then there are these releases where you get to calm down.
You're hired! Oh, God!
Before Wrong Turn, I made little tiny indie films, a movie called Saturn and a movie called Crime and Punishment in Suburbia. I had really wanted to do a horror film, so it was really through my agent that I met Stan.
And when I talked to him, he was passionate about wanting to direct this movie. And passion has so much to do with me wanting to work with anyone.
And action.
I let everyone know it was going to be very important to me that we create the most memorable and horrific and real inbred mountain men that anyone has ever seen. We do not design without having done our casting and find the people that we are going to, the actors. And I emphasize that because our mountain men are actors. They are really wonderful actors.
Shane Mahan, who's Stan's right hand, designed the mountain men. Once we had our three men, Shane started doing sketches of them, and we started looking at medical books.
Every character that we've created is grounded in reality. We used medical reference for the deformities and the distortions that could happen. Then we take those faces and we start working in the computer to create the look of these characters, distorting only to the level that we would be able to, in fact, replicate with a makeup effect.
Shane Mahan brought in a crew of sculptors that he directed to make 3D sculptures of the guys.
No more funny business.
It's essentially making a full-figure sculpture that has to move for 3 men. It's a massive job.
The teeth are designed to help the disfiguration of the face. Sort of juts his face, his lower jaw off to his right a little bit. And it produces a nice drool effect that Julian works. He works in. You'll see that later.
You don't look at them and go, oh, what a neat monster makeup. You look at them and go, oh. You look at them and go, don't get near me.
Yesterday, I did terrify a bunch of joggers, so the makeup clearly works.
Action underneath. Larissa, go Ted.
Body movement with each of these characters, again, is part of what the actors would bring to that. Gary, who plays Sawtooth, is huge and lumbering. He is not the quickest. He doesn't have to be. He's the most talented at a distance. Ted brought to his character of One Eye the child movement, the movements of a kid, the movements of someone that maybe had the mentality of a 4-year-old.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Julian was a sprung nerve. Three Finger was someone you just do not want to be around. He never stopped moving. He's always scurrying. He's a scurrying little maniacal, little insane ferret. He was someone who I envisioned from the start being this, and it's exactly what he did.
I've been looking all over.
Please shut up and listen. People are dead.
I don't want to pretend that that I don't enjoy a good kill.
Dead? What people?
Each of the kills was as scripted. They were out of Alan's mind, the writer, who is obviously demented.
Evan?
Lindy's the bad girl. She gets killed right away for being so bad.
Now get them trousers off, boy. Don't be a sissy.
The idea is how can we come up with a very standard production-specific kill that would really be disturbing, and the idea of garroting someone with barbed wire, especially when the barbed wire is homemade and when it's played a pivotal role in the plot.
It was really just what would be appalling for people to see and what would cause fear in people and what would reveal a giant. We wanted to give people a hint that these guys are just not right.
Get to the truck. I'll meet you there. I love you.
I wanted him to have a heroic death, a sequence where the audience could really root for somebody and see them running and hope that they're going to make it. Ultimately, they don't make it. It was a physical plate with arrows in it for his back, one digital arrow effect for the puncture, and then after that, when we cut back to him, it's a frontal physical effects plate and a back physical effects plate.
I'm sure that probably the most memorable of those kills was Emanuelle Chriqui getting the axe from Three Finger right into her face, on screen, in camera. How are you going to do that?
We'd be like, well, how do we want the axe thing to work? 1, 2, 3, bang! Okay, we'll do it again. Really fun, basic filmmaking. 1, 2, 3, bang! 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 Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's do another one. Once we got something that we liked, they would start working on all the expensive part. You need drawings to illustrate the idea. We wanted to start with an eye. If we could get an eye and see her die, hear a sound of a body separating over like a pupil dilating, that would be just a really great moment for the audience. We were trying to figure out how to go from that to the body fall, and because of digital effects now, we can do that in one shot.
There's a production element which is basically just her eye, which interestingly, there's debate about how much of it to use. In production, there was a little blink in her eye, and some people felt that the blink was really scary, that the idea that your eye would continue to blink after your head had been separated from your body. But in the end, we decided just to use pupil dilation.
I think it may have been Shane's idea to construct a tree that the living actress could be hidden in.
That's actually Emanuelle's head, but then that was rotoscoped out and put into an all CG environment. So the tree that her head is axed to is CG, the axe is CG, and everything you see below her, her body, the ground, the branches that she hits on the way down are all CG.
I think it's one of the great decapitations because it's more than a decapitation, it's a half cap. People who are afraid to go to horror movies are generally afraid their whole life. People say to me, do you have nightmares? I never have nightmares. And I go to movies and see the most bizarre thinking things in the world and go, wow, that is really sick. How fun is that? And I don't have to carry it around. And I think that's very healthy.
I'm emptying out the contents of the fridge that the mountain men, where they store their leftovers, and intestines and bits of beef. This is man-made rubber.
Stick your finger in
beef. Oh my. Oh, I guess these would be Yankee tongues. Shut your mouth, Yankee. Hand. You eat this a lot like chicken feet. You just suck the meat off the bones.
You hurt, Chris Flynn?
No, I'm fine.
Good. You're the mule.
We wanted a tough girl, someone who could stand up to the lead, Desmond Harrington. Take control of things. Eliza was the perfect pick.
That's Eliza.
Dushku, pronounced like push. Dush. Tush. Tush.
Eliza I love. What she does is she plays like really strong, determined women. What we wanted to do was make an Eliza character that has a little more depth. She gets to break down for just a beat before she becomes tough again.
No! The characters, they didn't seem very deep on the page because there's so much action in the movie, and that tends to happen a lot with action movies, but he talked really a lot about how the arcs that he wanted each character to have and how he wanted to work on that.
Let's go, folks, please. Can we have cast in first position?
Eliza really cares about the character she plays. When there was dialogue that she didn't think Jesse would say, or it wasn't the Jesse that she wanted to be, she would talk it out and see that her character was right. I think that's the best type of actress.
Which is flattering, of course.
Robert Mark.
This was not an easy movie to shoot. climbing, groveling.
Numerous bumps, and I just am covered in bruises, and sometimes we look and we don't know which ones are real and which ones are the fake ones that we're putting on.
Eliza's stunt woman hit her branch and spun around it. Eliza wanted to match the stunt woman's hit.
No one wants to see a stunt double. I prefer for my friends not to be able to watch the movie and go, that wasn't you. It's cool, but it also has its repercussions because it's pretty intense business.
Action.
Eliza Dushku, 80 feet above the forest floor, her friend just killed, has to run out into the darkness and scream out for this mountain man to come and get her because she's going to act as bait.
Come on, here I am! Where are you?
And to get to see that type of fear turning into courage is a thrill for me.
Action.
If you look very closely at the movie and just watch her performance, Eliza's performance, hard work.
I felt like I had to give a really honest and raw performance, and whether it's toughness or just this refusing to be a victim, and you just kind of find these things inside yourself.
I did everything I could to talk Eliza into doing this film. She's a really fine actress, and she brings a lot to the film.
You're a pacifist.
Is that too tight?
No.
I don't want it to be too tight.
It's good.
Do you want to know why we went camping?
Yeah.
Last Friday, I came home from maybe the worst week of school I've had in years. But I get through it and get home. There's a message on my machine from my boyfriend who says that he feels like he's dating the right person at the wrong time. He says he needs to go figure out what he wants to do with himself. He says that it's not about me, it's about him. He says this on my answering machine. Within 20 minutes of me telling Carly, she had Scott and Evan and Francine all blowing off work this week to take me out here. 20 minutes. That's just the kind of friends they were. And now they're dead.
sweetheart. Hey, guys, hold it.
Okay.
Still speeding.
23 mother, take 1A, Mark.
Now just keep your hips down.
Okay.
Mark.
You mark.
And frame. Frame.
Picture and action.
And cut.
Saw his face. B mark.
I'm sorry if I fall in.
Oh, hands up.
You can hold the sneaker.
My hands up?
No.
Just a little bit higher with your hands if you can. Okay. Your elbows anyways.
And
Good, thanks.
action.
And cut.
B. 23 mother, take 4A, Mark. Mark.
B mark. And frame. Frame.
And action.
And cut.
No, saw his face.
23 mother, take 5A, Mark. Mark.
B mark. Frame. A bit higher, Leighton. Thanks.
And action.
Cut.
Speed.
23 November, take 1A, Mark. Mark.
B mark. And frame.
And action.
Cut.
23 November, take 2A, Mark. Mark.
B mark. And frame.
And action.
And cut. Okay, and over.
Yeah, thanks.
Mark.
B mark. Frame.
Cheers. Frame. And action.
And cut.
4A, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
B camera tail slates. And frame.
And action.
And cut.
Tail slate.
On her yank.
23 November, take 5A, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
Lindy, you'll put her hands up and then you can like do the... Lindy, you'll put your hands up and then you'll get yanked up.
Okay.
Okay.
Pardon me.
So get down, please, Lindy. Okay, and frame.
And action.
And cut.
Great.
That looked good. Yeah.
Mark.
B mark.
Okay,
so
standing, looking at the ear.
And he's down and frame.
And action.
And cut.
Mark.
B mark. And frame. Frame.
And action.
Blood. And cut.
Oh.
Yep.
Marker.
And frame. Frame.
And action.
Blood. And cut.